Melody here. You might know me as ApplePie Movement. I'm a humanitarian sharing the conversations with humanity which need to be heard. In today's conversation with Rev Rhina, we discuss how she went from being a lawyer to advocating for immigrant rights and founding the first church for immigrants in San Francisco. So come on, grab a piece of pie and join our conversation.
What's one of your favorite scriptures that you preach from frequently, or that you love to share or use from the pulpit?
Yeah, actually my favorite, well, I have a couple of them, but John the 9th is the passage about the blind man who is brought in front of the religious authorities because they want to test his faith, and they are demanding from him to tell them, who is this Jesus? Is he a prophet? Is he a Messiah? You know, and they want to, like, they really cornering this blind man into confessing and try to, you know, they probably going to charge him with something. And the blind man tells to these religious authorities, I said, he's like, if he's a prophet, I don't care. If he's a teacher, I don't know. If he's, you know, I don't know. I was blind and now I see. So he says to these people, look at the miracle in front of you. Why are you tripping? Why are you tripping about titles? What are you tripping about, like, wanting to know where the power is coming? You have a miracle in front of you. So I love that passage a lot.
It's a beautiful passage.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And what are some steps that you recommend that we can take as a society to build a more inclusive world?
So again, it would be the openness to be a learner, and openness to want to know that you don't know everything, and take every opportunity you can to experience something that's going to open up your worldview. Yeah.
Are you familiar with VR at all?
No.
Virtual reality?
Oh yeah, they put the goggles on and they go out there. I have never tried it, but I yeah. But
I believe that VR is a great way to be able to step into another person's shoes and experience life from their perspective. And at our social justice concert, one of the things that I want to create is a VR experience. Because are you familiar at all with the voter suppression in Georgia?
Yeah, I have heard. I've been reading a lot about it. Yeah.
Okay, because I believe in 1948 was the first time that it was passed that everybody in the state of Georgia could vote. But voter suppression was very rampant, and there was a Black soldier that had just returned from being on duty, and he wanted to register to vote, and he ended up being lynched because he wanted to exercise his right to. Yeah, so that's one of the illustrations that I want to show in the VR experience, because that happened in 1948, and then here we are 2020, and voter suppression is still taking place and still happening. And so I'm trying to figure out what other examples of experiencing humanity from a different perspective would be good to incorporate, so that people realize, you know, this isn't just a Southern issue. It's not just a Georgia issue. It's not an issue just of racism or homophobia. It's a human issue. It's how do we want to live out as a species, you know? So this isn't just another concert, but hopefully a moment to change our culture. Do you have any ideas of any stories from history that you would recommend be included in something like this?
I mind the stories of people trying to come to the United States. I met somebody at the last rally. He's a youth pastor who had to flee Honduras because he was rescuing young people from the gangs, and then the gang leaders wanted to kill him. And he left Honduras in one of the biggest human caravans that got stopped in Mexico after they created that rule where you had to be sent back to Mexico. And while he was in Mexico, he started organizing people there, and so that their dignity could be uplifted and they didn't feel too much despair. And now he finally gained his asylum into the US. The government is appealing his asylum. They don't want him to stay here. And he's already have built he's gonna come to my service next month. He's our guest speaker. And he's already building a shelter in Tijuana for women and children. And so, experiences like that, if you hear them, I think something has to open up in your heart,
Mm-hmm. Can you share his name with me?
Sure. No, and he's very public. I can send you a video they made. His organization is so beautiful. His name is Douglas Oviedo. Pastor Douglas Oviedo.
Okay. That is really a beautiful story. And as a culture, we need to wake up and realize that we need to include immigrants. Most people coming here aren't coming here to do bad things. They're coming here for a better life for themselves. Yeah. It's just selfishness for us to not allow people to come in to our countries. Not that immigrants are going to take anything away from us. We don't have anything to lose. If anything, immigrants are going to help our economy.
Yeah.
Help us grow. And I mean that's really sad. That poor man, the abuses that he must have endured just to come here.
Yeah. But he's a fighter, and wherever he goes, he's carrying that desire to organize people, bring people together, make good things happen. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That is so beautiful, especially when you have endured hardship, people that are willing to give back. It's just
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Because why would you want to continue a fight that maybe you don't have to pick up if you have reached some level of success? For joining us for another ApplePie TableTalk, and thank you, Reverend Rhina, for joining us. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
And just